welcome to A Gem of a Secret podcast. My name's Donna, telling my secrets.
And my name is Coco Gem Holiday.
How you doing tonight, Coco?
Well, this is the first time in a very long time that I actually had a White Claw before we started filming. Because that's how we used to film back in the day. So I don't have a White Claw and whatever. So I actually have a stockpile of White Claws because I went through this very not drinking phase for a very long time. Mm-hmm. So they're just all over the house. Constantly. Not constantly, just consistently because they didn't grow.
Yeah, please don't keep them all over the house constantly.
Yeah, they just were. They were from a very long time ago. That's why it tasted so flat.
Yeah.
This was like from 4 months ago. Yeah, it was pretty much water. So, Donna, you've returned to the land of which will be Facebook.
Yeah, I'm back on Facebook after over a year of not being on Facebook.
Why did you come back to Facebook?
I wanted to join some Facebook groups. So there is some queer and sober groups that are on Facebook, and that's really the only platform that I could connect with people who are kind of experiencing the same things that I'm experiencing. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be able to branch out and meet some people that are kind of living the same journey I'm living. And also, I want to sell some things on Facebook Market, and that's really the best place to do it nowadays instead of going on sketchy Craigslist to sell stuff, you know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I saw your post had like 200 likes on it.
Yeah, it got a lot more attention than I wanted. Well, it became very overwhelming, like everyone being like, we missed you, and I was like, oh gosh, this is a lot. But
I heard that the Facebook algorithm actually puts posts like that in the forefront of everyone's feeds.
Oh yeah.
When somebody returns to Facebook, to hopefully coerce them into staying on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel the love, so that was nice. But
sketchy ass Facebook.
Yeah. I also, the thing is, social media for me, I think has a lot of negative attributes to it. It can get very toxic. And I already, just like scrolling down, a lot of the reason why I left Facebook is because I was having a lot of disagreements with family politically, and then also just kind of really concerned with the fact that I let people who really should have no say on how I live my life or how I believe certain things, how I kind of let them like affect me when I was on. And I don't know, I've taken over a year to kind of look inward and to understand that I'm in charge of my response to those types of things, and that if I choose the path of least resistance and just kind of let it go and also just like choose my own happiness, then I can still be on these platforms, it's okay. And plus, I think it is a better way for me to stay connected. I think I've become quite a hermit over the last year, and I just wanted to kind of come out of my shell, my cocoon, new and emerged as this vibrant, new kind of person that I'm becoming. So
yeah, I think, and then also take time away from Facebook can make you appreciate the good points of it more. Yeah,
I've never taken over a year off of Facebook. This was a first.
Yeah, Facebook is a horrible place. So for me, my new life update. Oh, actually, before I do my life update, Donna, what are you wearing this evening?
Well, you see, I have made my hair more rose gold with this new conditioner I got. So I'm just dressed as Rosalia, the Pokemon.
Oh, Rosalia.
Rosalia, yeah. I have a hard time pronouncing the names, I guess, sometimes, especially these newer ones, I'm used to the original 150. But yeah, I'm dressed as Rosalia.
Oh, I'm dressed as a Ponita or Ponita, however it's pronounced.
However,
I've heard it 1,000 different ways.
I have heard that name 1,000 different names.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me feel better by like choosing a Pokemon that had different pronunciations. And,
yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So that's why I'm dressed with all white, and then I'm wearing horseshoes that did hurt to put on. And then that's why I did set my hair on fire, and that wig is now destroyed.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a drought. We got to keep this place. Don't know if the fiery hair was the best choice, but you know what? It
Dedication
was
to the craft.
risky and, yeah, great.
So my life update is I am taking a drag break in September, which I think I talked about on the last week's episode.
I believe you did, yeah.
So that's coming up. I'm really excited about it. And I am going to do, I think, 3 gigs in September. Just 3. I'm going to try my hardest not to do karaoke because that's my weekly. And the sad thing is I could use that money from that weekly gig. But it's just, I think it's really important for me to get ready for the cruise in October. And to do that, I need to just take some time away, and then I can spend more time with my husband.
Yeah. We're both taking little vacays in October. I will be... Oh, well, it's a surprise for someone, so I can't say where I'm going in October. But I will be out of Oregon at the end of October for a short amount of time, for a weekend or so, a little over a weekend.
Yay.
And you're finally getting to do this cruise that you've been looking forward to since before the pandemic.
Yes, and it does look like, this is so weird. So right now they've canceled all the shows on the cruise. And so, but we're still booked to be on it. So like they're trying to set up private...
Like meet and greet
like
kind
meet
of...
and greety things. And I'm like, so you just want me to wear pretty, like, it's funny, Diana Fire felt a different way about it. I was like, wait, you want me to wear pretty clothing and get an all expenses paid cruise?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. It sounds easy.
It does. Well, because right now, I'm kind of burnt out, right?
Yeah.
So like hearing to not have to do like glamorous cruise ship performances sounds kind of appealing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's cool.
And who will be on that cruise with you?
Oh,
just some of them. There's a lot.
Miss Kasha Davis, Pandora Box, I believe is still on it.
Yes, Maxi Glamour,
Kitty Litter.
Can you tell Maxi that your roommate thinks she's very attractive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or they are very attractive?
Yes, I will absolutely slide that into conversation.
Thank you.
With a picture and a couple of your nudes and your social media information.
Lovely. I will set you up with a package, a PR package. But it'll be like a PR package for like Grindr or something. It'll be my best nudes, edited nicely.
Oh
my portfolio.
I love it.
So, yeah.
But before we get too far into it, Donna, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, Coco, I will let you know after this brief commercial break. Dun dun, Drag Race. Oh, we don't want to get sued for copyright, but you know what? I'm really in the mood to watch some Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you, there is a beautiful place to watch Drag Race every week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, at Local Lounge at 6:00 p.m. Every Thursday, you can get a first look at Drag Race.
Oh my gosh, and currently we're on All-Stars Season 6?
Yeah, All-Star Season 6 is premiering right now, and we have performances that happen throughout the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can buy drinks, hang out with your friends, and just get to experience some buffoonery happening at the bar.
Some buffoonery. Not even buffoonery. It's your own made-up word.
I know, just like a queen from Drag Race.
Yes, catchphrase. What happens after Drag Race?
After Drag Race, it goes straight into drag queen karaoke.
Yes.
So you can sing with your friends, get some cocktails, and party all night long. I guess we'll see you there.
Yep, see you there.
It's a podcast with Coco and Donna. Tell a podcast. Tune into what they tell you podcast. With Coco and Donna. Tell a podcast.
Well, Coco, I am feeling stunning tonight because we have the gorgeous, legendary Stefhannie DuPont Shad with us. Stefhannie, how are you doing?
Hi, Stefhannie.
Hi. You know, I'm doing it. I'm doing him. I'm doing her. I'm doing well.
All of the above.
You have the best cadence when it comes to like communication and speech. It's just, I love it so much. I love watching you on the internet. I'm just like, what's gonna come out of her mouth?
Hey, you can't predict me, boo. I'm not the one.
There's gonna be so many quotes to use for the title in this episode. I feel.
Period. Like, if I'm nothing else, I'm a one-liner.
So, as always, so tell us how long you've been performing in drag, and then how did you get your really known as the queen of all the middle and last names?
So I've been performing for too damn long. Um, so, okay, so I've been doing drag and since I was getting dressed up in drag since I was 13, but I've only been performing in drag since like 15, 16. Currently 28. I'll be 29 in January. Y'all do the math. I went to public school. Uh, and yeah, so it's been a good chunk of my life, if not half my
Yeah,
life
it
so
sounds like
far.
about half.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
about 15
yeah,
years or so. Dang, that's insane.
hmm yeah. A lot of people don't realize it, but I've been out
Yeah.
here in these streets.
Yes, you have.
Dang, that's kind of exciting, actually. It is. I'm just like,
Yeah,
dang.
it kind of is because like so I remember the first time I ever watched Paris is
Mm.
Burning, and they were interviewing the two boys outside, and they're like, "Where are your parents? Where's your mother? Where's your father?" And they were the two young boys. They're like, "Oh, I do what I want. I'm out here in these streets." And I remember like, "Yo, I want to be those kids. Not the greatest of role
Mm-hmm.
models, but like, yo, I want to be those kids." And now here I am sitting here talking to you guys, reflecting about off of a simple question. I'm like, damn, I really
You
was them
were.
kids. Like that really, that really
I
was
really
me.
was them
Like,
kids.
Yeah. And
okay.
now a mother yourself to other entertainers and someone that is a mentor to other people.
It's too many damn children.
Well, and it's true though because it's funny. I'm going to talk at her like this whole interview. You have this ability of making people
Please.
feel so complete in like their journeys, and then also you have a way of identifying like the struggle of the person within 3 seconds of seeing them in the bar, being like, "Coco, come here." I'm like, "No, Stefhannie, I don't need to unpack this right now. You leave me alone."
I mean, clearly you do, because like, I mean, Mother Gothel and Tangle said it best. Mother knows
Hmm.
Yeah.
best. Like, I mean, I've always had the nurturing aspect. I've always been nurturing and caring for uh, the song for the unsung heroes. For the underdogs, for the scraps, the throwaways. Like uh, I don't know. I had a weird and intricate upbringing myself, and intricate relationship with my
Mm-hmm.
mother. And to put it shortly, and we're gonna dead it after that. My mother was a great mother to children that weren't
Mm.
hers. And so watching her do that so well helped
Mm.
me become who I was. So it's like me literally taking a copy out of her page, like a page out of her
Yeah.
book, if I can
Yeah.
speak, and just applying it, because at the end of the day, if I can make your life a little better, then my life is not so dumb.
Yeah.
I love that. Actually, I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful. My mom was
Yeah.
I when I was in preschool. When I was a preteen, gosh, why is talking hard today? When I was a preteen, because my mom was a foster care provider, my bio mom was a foster care provider,
hmm
and I always felt during that time of my life, from like 8 to like 14, that my mom was a better mother to kids that weren't hers for the longest time. And
Yeah.
so I really do identify with that struggle. Later in life, obviously, I realized that wasn't completely the case. Obviously, my mom loves me, but like, it just, I get that hit real hard. I was like,
Well, yeah, especially like for me to, I know I said I was done with the issue, but it's fine. Um, like my mother was also a social worker, so like my mom was known as the Queen of Tickets because no matter what concert came to town, circus, rodeo, whatever, like if these at-risk teens in the community said they wanted to go, my mom got the tickets. Like my mom took 14 screaming girls to go see NSYNC and Britney Spears at that concert back in Y2K. So like my mom did it
Yeah.
all, So like I literally watched her be a mother to all the kids in the community, and at the time I didn't realize that she wasn't loving me the same way, but like it was a learning
Yeah.
method,
so
and
then who's your favorite drag child?
I just apply it.
Who's your favorite drag child?
Ooh, ooh,
On the
oof.
spot.
She just sipped a drink, y'all. She's
Okay.
like, wait a second.
Um. So My favorite. Oh, I'm gonna sound like my mother right here. My favorite child is whoever I'm talking to at the moment.
Okay. Very diplomatic answer.
Absolutely. Um, I will say that some children hold a stronger, deeper
Mm,
connection than others. For instance,
mm,
Sugar Pill is my firstborn.
mm.
It's my fault that the world has Sugar Pill. So, both you're welcome and I'm sorry.
Thank you. I really needed to hear that
um,
actually.
Yeah.
and so yeah, no, she was my firstborn. And I say she loosely, not to uh, be rude towards them. So I'm just going to change pronouns. So like they came to my drag workshop for years
Mm,
because I did one at the Oregon Queer Youth Summit. I did drag 101 for like 4 or 5 years, and then they decided to finally get in drag. I put them in drags, and went to the Escape with
mm.
them. In 6 months, they had elevated their makeup and won their first drag title,
Wow.
and then the trajectory from there just took
Yeah.
off. Um, so yeah, it's really neat. Also, some kids require more than others. Some require less. Um, some of my kids, I'm an actual mother figure to them in their like life period. Um, some I'm just a drag mother, where I've just given them the things that they needed to start up, and they've created their whole career. I have some drag kids that need that nurturing constantly, so they're talking to me damn near every day, or on the weekends or whatever. So I have I have too many kids, and so for me to say that I have one favorite, I say I don't. But if you ask them, they'll probably say Craven. So
I was gonna say it was Craven
He's
too.
lovable.
I love Craven. He's my favorite.
So prior to the pandemic, Stephanie, you produced a show called Glitter Girls. Tell us a little bit about how that
hmm
started and how you kind of got your hand in producing.
yeah. So Glitter Girls was a birthday gift to myself. Not from myself, from Calliope Carmichael's. She had asked me if I wanted to host the show. I started off as just a host, and so I said sure. And then while we were leading up to the show, I was asking all these questions. I wasn't getting answers that I liked. So then I said, hey, let me help.
Mm-hmm.
So then I stepped in as a
Yeah.
producer and had no idea what I was doing, how to do it. Learned very quickly what to do and what not to do. Um, and then I just took on the helm of Glitter Girls, and I just drove that thing
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. um, I was asking anyone and everyone to come and be on the show. I was never really able to consistently pay people money to like be in the show. But what was a great offset was that typically when you came in and did our show, even though we were on the second and fourth Mondays, you still made a pretty cute
Mm-hmm.
coin from coming to do the show. And I mean, I hated that all I could offer you was a plus one, and two drink tickets, but that's all I could offer. And so like I wasn't trying to demean anybody, and I wasn't mad at anybody, even though if they said they couldn't do it. You know, we were able to pay people after we only had made only so much at the door. Um, and so then that happened a couple times, but it wasn't always. But like I said, it was a learning curve. Ended up being my baby, my pride and joy. I really miss it. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, and who knows? We might have something in the works coming up at the end of
Ooh,
September. Excuse me, I'm a little parched.
nice.
That's exciting to hear.
But yeah, yeah. And I'm proud to say that Glitter Girls made it to a whole year before the
Yeah.
pandemic, you know, really took over everything. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be at that show, and it was the anniversary show was the first show in a whole year that I had missed.
Wow.
That was one thing I was also really proud of. I never missed a show. Even if I didn't feel good, I just didn't perform, but I was there hosting.
I love that.
Um,
I do. I love that.
if I and even if I didn't feel like hosting, I still showed up so that it was there, so that if there were any problems, they didn't have to call me, and I missed a call or whatever. I was right there to resolve any and all issues. Um, just because like a lot of people don't realize that when you're a producer, it's all on your shoulders. Like it, you know what I mean? Like it's all riding on you. Like it's you're the one that's liable. You're the one that's paying people. You know, you're the literally the grease to get the gears of the machine going. And it's not easy. It's not just throwing your name on a flyer. You know, even though a lot of people think all you have to do is be good at Photoshop and having a cool production name. But either way,
Yeah, I get that. That show was
um,
cool. Me and Donna both
yeah,
performed in it
Yeah.
at separate times, and it was a cool show.
And at the same time sometimes.
Did we perform it at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
There were a couple times that we performed together, and then yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a good. It was a great. It was a great show. Cool venue, biker bar,
Yeah.
bar for a drag show.
yeah, right. You know, and they loved
Yeah.
us there. You know, they were all about it. And I never had any kind of issues with clientele or staff. But I think the one time we had an issue, uh, I didn't know it was an issue until it was already resolved. And by the time they had reached to me with all the information, the person had been 86 from the bar. The picture was already up on the wall, and I was like, all right,
That's
Yeah.
cool.
awesome. So I want to
Yeah,
switch gears to because your
let's do it.
name that you put in our broadcast today was the aggressive, which is hilarious to me.
What did you call me?
So to give our listeners some backstory here, Stefhannie decided to go public about who was stealing tips from in the Portland drag community, and she named Leilani C. Glamazon and their partner Sylvia, and from
As one of the people, not the only thief, as
as
one of
one
the
of the
thieves.
thieves, yes,
And specifically to a specific string of
yes.
events.
And so, from that point, so that was some online stuff, but that was pretty public and whatever. But what happened from that is in the comment section on Stephanie's video about Leilani, the Antichrist decided to write to Stefhannie, basically saying like, "Oh, is it okay that we're chasing a black trans woman out of town? And it might not actually be her." To which Stefhannie pretty much responded saying, "Get off my status. I say whatever I want to."
Period.
And then,
Like, I didn't send for you. Don't come for me.
and then the Antichrist pretty much responded by saying, "You don't need to be so aggressive," is what they said. And Stefhannie came back pretty much saying the same thing, like, "Get off my status. I'll say whatever the hell I want to."
I know. I literally, actually, because they had called me aggressive, I chose to take the higher road, and I had decided to say, plain and simply, no one's being
Mm.
aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was the rest of the community that jumped down their throat.
Yeah.
Yes, the memes were so funny. But so what we want to talk about
They were constant.
is your
Baby.
that video specifically that you made about Antichrist, because you did go live about that later, to talk about that. And so for our listeners who don't understand why this is such a big deal, why don't we talk about what the aggressive connotation actually means for you and your community?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, it's 2021, and we shouldn't be using microaggressions against any person of color, even more so any trans person of color, and if you want to go as far as any trans woman
Mm.
of color specifically. So, because I am loud and passionate, or I am loud and energetic about what I'm speaking, and it can be boisterous and or obnoxious by your definition, not mine, of what you're usually accustomed to with conversation, you can take it as being aggressive because it's more brute force than what you're accustomed to. But that doesn't mean that you get to tell that to me because you don't get to put me under the label of being the angry black woman where I am, you have now painted the narrative that has a negative connotation that angry black women all over this country, get diminished and, oh, well, she's just doing this because she wants to be loud and be ghetto and get her way, like, or she's trying to deflect from the bigger issue here. Um, it's back and forth. And so rather than finding another way to get your point across, to just go for the negative connotation of it. Maybe I'm not doing the best way of explaining this, but uh, it's just, I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me, especially because, like, if I was trying to be aggressive, you would have known I was trying to be aggressive, and all I had simply said was, "We're not doing that here." Like, I said what I said, and it should have just been left at that. But you decided to continue to drag on the narrative and change it so that you looked better, so that you seemed better in a space that wasn't your own. And yet again, diminishing the fact that you were also talking to a black trans woman. Like, your initial comment was like, oh, well, did we just shun one out of the community? But you're asking a trans woman of color if we just did that. Maybe this is one of those situations where you just shut up, sit down, and sit back.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't your conversation. Maybe this isn't your story to tell. This isn't your fight to fight. It's okay to not be there every step. Like, you can be a cheerleader from the sidelines, but you don't always have to be at the front. At the front lines.
It's true.
Like,
It's true because that moment was really harsh for me too. Just reading it, specifically because black women are getting that narrative of whenever they're asserting themselves or being aggressive, and that narrative can often lead to black death, especially black death in black women, and nor especially
I mean,
trans
absolutely.
women.
It's been happening for
Mm-hmm.
decades. You know, I mean, remember, Malcolm X said that the most disrespected person in America is a black woman, you know? And, like, I think today, in today's time, it can be even said that the most disrespected person in America is the black trans woman, because black trans, femmes are the the demographic with the highest death rate, is that like the highest murder rate? You know what I mean? Like, it's just time to be accountable in 2021 and just take the time to really understand the words in what you're saying, because that's the saying of sticks and stone may break my bones and words can never hurt me. That only works in kindergarten and first
That's
grade.
T.
Yeah.
That's T.
As you get older, that saying gets further and further from your mind and becomes so polar
Yeah.
opposite.
My
You know
favorite
what I
thing to
mean?
say to people when I'm in those online dramas or I'm getting canceled online is to say, I love how people forget that I'm also human too. I have a lot of confidence, absolutely. I also do follow
Right.
those phrases like the modern day phrase of that is like what other people think of you is none of your business, or what RuPaul says, unless they paying your bills, pay
Mm,
those bitches no mind.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is like I can pay them no mind as much as I want to, but it doesn't mean it's not going to necessarily affect me. Oftentimes it doesn't, but every once in a while it does because
Yeah.
I'm human, right?
right.
Yeah.
See, I try to live my life by the 3F rule. If you ain't feeding, fucking, or financing me, I don't care. And in order for me to care, you got to be out doing at least 2/3.
I love that.
I'm
So,
just saying.
not to seem like this is a
Mm.
bash post against Antichrist. From my understanding, Antichrist also sent you an apology text. Is that right?
Yeah. So, after realizing just how much they had fucked up, by their words, not mine. If you want the screenshot, y'all know how to get a hold of me. I will send it to you. I also posted it. Um, Baby, I'm Stefhannie DuPont Shad. I'm not scared of a screen recorder or a screenshot. I know what the fuck I be saying. Um, they reached out and, I mean, they kind of sort of did own up to it. They didn't excuse anything. They really explained that initially they were rubbed the wrong way about me outing Leilani and C. Glamazon as the thief because and the Antichrist had also been a victim of theft that night at their show, and they didn't want to believe that it could be them, especially when they had done X, Y, and Z to help Leilani out after all of that, and da 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 da. And then went on to say that when they were able to, send me money, they would for having to deal with their bullshit online. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, at least
I
they
mean, I
tried to
gave
do
them a big ass
reparations in
thumb.
some capacity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than nothing, first and foremost. Um, I mean, I read it. I sent a big thumbs up, at least so they know that I read it.
Gosh, Stephanie, I sent a thumbs up. I did my due diligence.
I mean, you didn't give a fuck about my comfort. Why am I going to give a fuck about yours?
Maybe that's the title of the episode.
It would be a good title.
Right.
Yeah.
I am over giving energy to issues, peoples, and topics that I don't actually give a fuck about.
T.
Yeah.
I'm way too grown for that. Like, especially, ooh, realty in my life. Unfortunately, I've been losing people here and there, you know, again, like other people, but whatever. Um, couple of the people that I've lost recently, or not I've lost, but like have passed away recently. I didn't really care about them when they were alive. So people want to come up to me like, "Oh, boo hoo, what was me?" I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that you feel this way. I hope you can get some comfort soon. Like, oh, why don't you feel the way you knew them too? Right? I knew them. I didn't like them.
That's T.
And they're like, oh, you're supposed to let that go. Just because they die? If anything, I'm happy I ain't got to see their ass around anymore. Like, why? Like,
Dang.
why am I going to change how I feel about somebody just because they pass away?
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, well, I mean, I still love my mom. I lost her. I didn't get her back.
Mhm.
Why? What? No, I don't play that. So yeah,
It
so
is
I just
it's a difficult pill to swallow. I actually, long story short, I had this moment I was hanging out with some buddies like from high school in my first year of college, and we were talking about high school and whatever. And there was a girl, I don't remember her name. I'm not going to say it on the podcast. I remember her. She bullied me so bad. And we were just going through people we knew, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, that one girl was so awful to me. We went on this cruise together, and she was so awful to me. And she literally made a spectacle of me and humiliated me in front of the people on the cruise. And, like, she was just always bullying me, whatever. And they're like, what's her name? I was like, I can't remember. And then we finally figured it out. And then one of my people were like, you know that she completed suicide, right? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
whoa.
I didn't know that. And they're like, wow, that's just really messed up. And I was like, well, no. I said, yeah. I was like, I didn't know that she did that, and that's terribly sad. It does not negate how she bullied me for like over a year and a half. Even if she had things in her life, she
Right.
made my life a living hell. Like,
Right.
at the same time. I was like, so both things are true. It's sad, and she bullied
You
me.
can still have compassion for the person because obviously they were struggling with
Right.
some inner demons, but also still like feel like they hurt you, or they
Right.
weren't the best to
But
you.
like, I can acknowledge that those closest to them are
Mm-hmm.
grieving, and with grief being love with nowhere to go, don't wish that
Yeah.
upon anybody. It just happens that I'm not
Yeah.
grieving that person.
Oh, that's a
You know what
good
I mean?
line. That's a really good line.
Like, I'm not grieving that
Yeah.
person. So,
So,
it doesn't mean I'm wishing ill upon them. I
absolutely.
just
No, and you're a
time to
giving
move
person
on.
too. Like, you're
Yeah.
always one of those girls. So that video that got posted from when you were hosting Black Trans Magic about you talking about
Ellie
oh yeah,
LeBlanc.
Ellie LeBlanc. Sorry, I haven't talked to that girl in a long time. Also, she has me blocked, but
It's okay.
because she does. But yeah, that was a really powerful moment that you took your stage times to do.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to. Can you talk a little bit more about your
Yeah.
speech to Ellie LeBlunt, like
Um,
taking time on stage to, say
so
those things?
it was a long time coming. Um, it was based off of issues that we had, like before the pandemic. Um, and not to breathe, life into a dead issue, but it was basically a bunch of hearsay. She said. There was no actual confirmation of like what had been said, what hadn't been said, and the source was iffy at best. And I was drunk one night and at a show, and I just heard some things and that were said about me that I didn't like, and just me being me, shoot first, ask questions later. I tried to rip the girl's wig off on stage while she was performing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Lucky for her,
Shoot
lucky for
first,
her,
Oh
ask
my
she
questions
had that
god!
later.
obscure wig, so it didn't come off.
Damn.
Um, and then it just, grew from there. Things happened, this, that, and the third. And then we just didn't talk for a while. After an extended period of time, we were both in the same show at CC's. And, I went downstairs, looked at her. I said, look, I ain't trying to fight with you. I ain't trying to argue with you. I will be cool and cordial with you, or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to have a bad night with you. Like, because I really needed to make money that night. And I wasn't letting no bitch get between me and my bag. Uh, it ended up being she was willing to hash it out. We hashed it out. We talked about it. We was cool ever since. Um, from that point up until when I was on the mic, actually making the public apology, I hadn't hosted a show that she was in. You know what I'm saying? Like she hadn't attended a show that I was hosting. She wasn't performing in a show that I was hosting, and so I hadn't had the opportunity. And I knew I just needed to do it that way. So when I got wind that she was making her return to Black Magic for Black Trans Magic, and I was going to be hosting it. I knew that I was going to be giving her that very well deserved public apology. You know, my disrespect was public. My accountability needed to be public, and I can't sit here and be a woman of my word and expect to keep everybody up
Gee.
to one level and standard when I don't keep myself up to that standard. So I uh,
Yeah.
I did what I did and I said
Dang.
what I said.
Yeah, that's
I
big.
didn't even know it was being recorded. Like somebody already tried to come for me and they're like, "Oh, well, a recorded apology doesn't mean anything." And I was like, I mean, that's fair, except for Ellie sent me the video because her friend recorded it. I had no idea someone was recording it. Nobody told them to record it.
Mm.
Nobody knew I was doing this. Nobody. I was the
Mm,
only one who knew that I was going to be apologizing to her.
right.
So when she sent me the video,
Right.
I asked her, I was like, can I post this? Because it needs to happen. And she was like, absolutely. And so then I posted it again, like,
Mm-hmm.
and every year when it comes up in my memories, I'm going to be posting it just to reiterate accountability 2021. Like, I might be a real bitch, a down
Yeah.
bitch, a great bitch, but I still a bitch that can fuck up. Like, I still have to be held accountable. Like, I'm not untouchable. A lot of people think I am, but I'm not. Like, I fuck up too.
Well, and that's T. That's T. I love that accountability, honestly, because at the end of the day, like, if you're really gonna talk such a big game, I think a
Absolutely.
big game really comes from a person who could admit when they're being
Absolutely.
when they admit when they're wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
And
that's really kind.
as far as the recorded apology goes too, there's a big difference between
Right.
someone being influencer-like and sitting down and staging an apology and crying for the cameras,
Right.
and what
Was
you
it
did, where it was just a genuine moment that was
exactly?
caught
That's
on
what it's about. I was
camera.
like, it happened to be recorded. They
That
were like,
happened to be
because
recorded.
if I wanted something to be recorded, don't you think I would have had a better angle of myself? Like the video wasn't flattering for anybody.
Mm.
So
Girl. I feel
I
ya.
love that
I
tea. I love
mean,
that. Too.
period.
Oh,
Like,
that was funny.
get me from my good side. Like, I'm a lamb of Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm gonna be let somebody catch me in fluorescent lighting, let alone a bad angle?
Hell no.
Shit,
Let alone a bad ankle. Ooh, that's some
let's do it.
tea. So switching gears once again, I want to know
Hmm.
what's because you're on technically a drag break, um, even though you're still hosting gigs. So tell
Uh,
us what the future is for
I mean,
Stephanie,
when it
in the
comes
sense of
to
performing or hosting or whatever.
performing, um, those days are numbered. Uh, hosting, I will never probably stop doing. Um, but yeah, I have a couple of things that are in the works right now. Um, that should be coming to a head soon. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, is I'm looking for my charger. um, but yeah, so I just I'm ready to be an audience member. To be fully honest with you, I I'm ready to be that audience member producer that knows everything that's going on, but doesn't have to do jack shit. Um, it's
Yeah,
just
it's nice.
I want to be able to enjoy the time with my friends when they come out to a drag show that I've invited them to. Instead of me being on stage and not being able to hang out with them because I'm doing 1,000 things at once. I want to be able to experience a drag show without having to worry about who the who's going to be up next. You know, um, or wearing if my makeup is going to last through XYZ numbers.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's hard to be present when you're wearing so many different hats, for sure.
and
So many hats,
and it's like
especially
I'm
for
just
you
ready
for
to
all the
choose
stuff that you
me.
do.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's amazing. And I think a lot of people that
Oh
have
yeah,
taken the time to
absolutely.
really look inward are more
Um,
people are doing that.
I mean, also moving from like being a host, a performer, and a producer to just being a producer and a host. For me, I feel like that's where I thrive at the most. Like, yes, I can perform, I can slay the house down boots, but it's not
Mm.
it for me anymore. It doesn't make me happy anymore. You know,
Yeah.
like
I feel like I'm getting there
I mean, I'll
soon,
always,
in some
do a park and
capacity.
bark ballad, make bitches cry. But I don't need to buck and twirl and break my body for a couple of bucks when I can book a bitch and host a bitch
Mm-mm.
and make more money that way. You know what I mean? Like, let me just book this talent real quick for the show. Or you know what I'm saying? And host a show. I can still make money that way and have just as much fun and not be sore for the next 4 days because I decided to do three splits and two numbers.
Girl, I feel you, especially at our age. I mean, we're both damn near 30, and I can't I can't do anymore because my
At all.
body's not going to
Also,
recover if I do anything too strenuous with it.
in Portland, there's a breath of new life when it comes to drag performers. So you know what? I'll take my break. Y'all go ahead,
Mm, yeah.
tear up the stage, tear up the city.
Yep.
Let the world be your oyster. I'm gonna be in the back with my
Yep.
joint, my Merlot, my tequila, and I'll just watch y'all have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience being 35 doing drag. Erica Clash said it best, and I've said it on this podcast before. me and Diana Fire and Erica Class were sitting down right after Camp Wanakiki, and we're just talking about the shows and the performance levels, and it was just like, she's like, drag is really hard on my body, and we were just like, yeah, because this is probably both when me and Diana are like, what, 33 probably at the time, and we're like, yeah, like, oh yeah, it's super hard on my body, and she was just like, she's like, yeah, I can't, like, it's gonna kill me. Because she did some really high energy numbers where she flops around the floor, literally like flopping around doing those numbers.
And I don't know how
I was like, I can't even
Chanel and Chad Michael and Kennedy Davenport and fucking Alyssa Edwards is out here just bugging and twirling like ain't no tomorrow.
No, mama, she's not that nimble. She's not that quick.
Baby.
She's gonna jump over that candlestick and burn herself, mama. So as we get to the end, I need to ask you a question. If you were ever caught in a bar fight, what 3 drag entertainers would you want to fight alongside you, and why?
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna just go with all of them. So I would want Alexis Campbell Star, Takara Campbell Star, and Arcadian Campbell Star.
Good choice.
I'm not even going. No cap.
I think that's a great lineup.
That's not for
fantastic.
Real.
And they've always been so kind to me and given me opportunities in the city.
Right.
I was,
also,
first living here.
So if they weren't available, it would definitely have to be my.
I'm glad you chose them.
My Shade family next, but it would definitely be Hot Pink Shade, Kwanzaa Shade, and Kimber. Like, Flawless, I love you. I love you so much. But you way too pretty for me to try to fuck it up in a fight. So I'm going to just need you to sit on the sideline and let us take care of this. Like, I know the bitch can fight, but that bitch is... Look, if we ever walk a fucking ball up the house,
gorgeous.
We need you for face category. Like, bitch.
Face,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
oh.
Like, I ain't still there the message to all of my madness.
She's beat. Mama, she's beat.
You think I'm gonna be the reason why?
Woo! Gosh.
No, I ain't cracking that porcelain.
Oh my goodness. So our last question that we always ask too is, do you have any upcoming gigs that you're excited about or things that
I'm just gonna promote everything at Local Lounge. I don't care what it is, whether it's a brunch or it's a show of Sue from corporate, or it's, Cool Dad or Drag and Drop or Drag Danger Zone, Black Magic, Black Trans Magic, especially Black Trans Magic because I'm your hostess each and every month for that. Just any show at Local, I fully support and endorse. You can't go wrong, and it's just really great. And it's just nice to see a beacon like that in the community again. And no, this ain't sponsored. No, Coco ain't paid me no money. Y'all don't try it. And yeah, last but not least, I miss my Tushy Douchey, and I can't wait to see her again.
Yeah, I do miss her.
She'll be back tomorrow, right?
God,
the first.
No, is it tomorrow the first?
Tomorrow's the first.
She will be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the first. Yeah.
God, she is just the epitome of chaos.
So much chaotic energy.
Oh, by the way, she's staying with us.
I know. I figured. I figured as much.
She's
I'm
like
so
getting
excited
ready.
for the project
You see her,
that
she's
I'm
like,
coming up with Toucan Duncan.
I figured as much. Toucan Duncan.
Oh my god, I hate and love her so much.
Do you know that song in Sound of Music? How are you gonna solve a problem like Maria? They should be a
How do you solve a problem
like Touche.
Yvonne?
Love her.
I even messaged her. I was like, Yvonne. I was like, what is that? She was like, I finally picked the middle name. Girl, it's a drag name. You ain't gotta have a middle name, but okay. That's a French ass name, Yvonne.
Okay.
Now I gotta give Britt one too.
It's a French ass name. That's the meme that I sent. That's the meme that I sent in the group chat when she
Britt
said
has a middle name.
It's a French ass name.
Elizabeth.
I love her. Does Britt have a middle name?
Elizabeth.
Britt Elizabeth
Britt
Neon because
Elizabeth.
their
Neon.
initials
Oh,
spell
good
Ben.
heavens. Well, that does bring us to the end of our episode.
Yes.
Thanks. I know.
You
Thanks so much,
did
Stefhannie
not.
/ The Aggressive, for being on our podcast today. I'm just reading the name here.
I do want to say one last thing. If you have listened this far, we did name names in this episode. I know that's ruffled some feathers in the past, but also pay close attention to what we said because we didn't say anything inflammatory. We were processing things. We were referencing
Period.
names. And
Also,
that's
my
something
name
that
is Stefhannie
allowed.
motherfucking
Can be
DuPont
done.
Shad.
Yeah.
I said what the fuck I said. Again, I'm not scared of a screenshot
Yeah.
or a screen recording. If you had a problem with anything that I have said, you know how to get a hold of me, and we can talk this out like humans. But don't be bitter, and don't be pity patty, and don't be petty, and especially don't be petty page.
Oh, damn.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Wow.
I don't need a crown.
She
that
said
I'm
that.
a queen.
She did that.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. That's a beautiful note to end it on.
It is.
Always.
Thanks, Stefhannie, so much for joining us. This has been wonderful.
It's great to see you, my love. I miss you
it
too.
really has.
I'm
it's
sure
so
I
good to
will see you
again.
this week.
I miss you.
Yes, absolutely. So follow us on a Gentleman's Secret podcast where you're going to see some pictures of Stefhannie, and I'll link down to all of their social media so you can give them a follow. So that's it, everybody. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
This has been another episode of A Gem of a Secret podcast. The hosts of A Gem of a Secret podcast are Donatella My Secrets and Coco Gem Holiday. You may follow Donatella My Secrets at Donatella_My Secrets on Instagram. You may follow Coco Gem Holiday at Coco Gem Holiday on Instagram. Original music by Touche Douche and Party Favors. You can follow them respectively at The Touche Douche and at Party Favors Music on Instagram. For more exclusive content, visit www.agemofasecretpodcast.com. That is AJEM of a secret podcast.com. Be sure to tune in every week on Thursday for a new episode wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, email us at agemofasecretpod@gmail.com. Please don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.